Parts of this episode of Garden Time were recorded before COVID-19 and social distancing requirements.
Judy, what are you doing?
Ryan, I'm watching all the local birds.
And we have something for you to watch, a new episode of Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time. And you know, being home more this year, we're really realizing how many birds and wildlife come to our garden.
And you can go to your local independent garden center and find all sorts of plants to attract that wildlife.
And coming up in the show today, we'll show you some of those plants, the sunflower family.
We'll also take you out for a blueberry harvest.
But first, tips from Jan.
Well, it's Jan's Tips of the Month. Jan, we're in your garden.
Yay.
And we're so excited to be back out here.
Yeah.
And we have the lemon.
Yeah, you're getting used to this
I am
now,
getting
aren't
used
you?
to the lemon, yep.
Well, there's one lemon left that's going to try to mature. There were 4 earlier in the season. Now, though, the exciting part is that right here, there's like 5 more lemon.
Yeah, a bunch of new babies coming on in
there's
there.
a bunch. So we'll see if they hang on or not. I'm going to fertilize them again to see if I can get it to bloom and maybe set some more. So we'll go from there.
But you got a lot of lush new growth coming on too.
Yeah,
so.
well, you should have seen it a couple years ago. So at least it's improving.
Right.
The other thing I want to at least mention is that if you have a lawn, set the mower up a notch and mow it a little taller, so that the grass shades itself, and it's gonna stay greener if you want it to.
With all this heat, you know, when it's real short like that, it's just going through a lot of the water.
You're gonna use less water that way.
That's a good
That's
tip.
just a notch. The other thing is, many of us are familiar with Indian meal moths.
Yes.
This came out of a cupboard in the garage that I have birdseed in.
Okay.
And peanuts and squirrel food and all sorts of things. You can buy them. There are several different kinds. This one is a taro. This one is a BioSafe, I think. Anyway, what it is just a little cardboard tent, and then inside it has, in a package, you have to open it up, a little pheromone.
Okay.
And you stick it in here, and all of the male moths are attracted to that pheromone, and they get stuck, and takes about 2 weeks, and you really stop the whole life cycle.
Which is good.
And
why do we not want those moths?
Because they'll get into rice and dog food, cat food, bird seed, flowers, any cornmeal, anything. I had one nail a hole in a package of chili one time. So they'll eat pretty much anything and can be a real pest.
Right.
But
so we definitely want to make sure that
it works. It's no chemical, no anything other than gets the moth itself. This time of year, a lot of times, this is basil, and it's bolting, and which will happen when the weather gets hotter.
Right, I've noticed that on mine.
Yeah, and so if you want to keep your basil growing, instead of letting it go to seed, you just snap out the top, and it'll start leafing out again.
Right, because then it's putting all the energy back into the leaf production as opposed to...
But you can also chop this up and use it. It's basil, so...
Right.
You don't have to do that, but spinach will bolt and lettuce will bolt.
Right. A lot of cilantro and
a lot of things will bolt. And you can either snap it off and see if you can keep that plant going, or it's time to replant another batch.
Right. And then you've done some reseeding, replanting.
I have. I've planted beets and kale and carrots and mesclun. So I hope to have another.
Right, as the first round of things are coming out, we're getting our garden ready for the fall.
And then I've been harvesting some herbs. This is rosemary. I cut it back. I left a lot of the plant, but cut it back. And what I do is I can lay it out. You can use a dehydrator, all sorts of different ways. But I just like to wrap it up with a rubber band and hang it up. And I leave one in the kitchen and use it as I can. And then the rest of them I'll strip it all off when it's dry and just store it.
Right. And Jan, I see you have a new set of wheels with you today.
I do. I needed the table for all my stuff, but I'm ready next week to get a second new knee. I'm thrilled. So I'll be ready for September tips.
Well, good. So
I'll
we'll
be
get you healed right back up.
raring to go, and then I can actually kneel down in the garden and it doesn't hurt so much. So I'm thrilled. Get a new knee, and I'll see you when I'm better.
That's great. Well, congratulations on the new knee.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you in the garden again next month.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Do you want to be green? Do the easy stuff first. Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery. The U.S. House Energy and Commerce Committee says for every dollar spent on a shade tree, you can save $5 on cooling, blocking the penetrating heat in the summer and allowing the warm rays through in the winter. Dollar for dollar, there's no better energy and money saver than a good, deciduous shade tree. Portland Nursery's professionals can help you make the perfect selection. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
The fields are open. Come see the dahlias blooming at Swan Island Dahlias in Canby. The annual festival has been canceled, but you don't have to wait until the end of August to enjoy all the color. Safely walk the almost 40 acres of blooms. Pick up some cut flowers and visit our gift shop. Place an order for dahlia tubers online and receive 10% off your order through September. We're open 6 days a week through the end of September. Swan Island Dahlias, America's leading dahlia grower, located just off I-5 in Canby.
I am at the Portland Nursery on Stark Street with Laura, and Laura and I were kind of talking about what do you want to talk about on this segment, and Laura came up with this amazing idea, so tell us about it.
So I wanted, families are really important to us right now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about plant families. And the plant family that we have here today is Asteraceae. So the daisy family or the composite family. Some of the ones that might be the most familiar to you are the sunflowers. And something that's fun and plant geeky about sunflowers is that these outer petals are called ray flowers.
Oh.
And then these inner petals are called tube flowers. So first the ray flowers open, and then the tube flowers gradually open towards the center.
Oh, interesting.
And the family Asteraceae is one of the most developed and newer families in time, and they just developed with the pollinators. You can see how this is just the perfect landing pad for somebody to land on. And also, if you're using any of the daisies for cut flowers, you want as many of the ray flowers in the middle, you want them to be closed, and they will last the longest if the center's ray flowers are closed.
Well, excellent. I have been seeing sunflowers everywhere. They're such summer flowers.
They're very cheery, and they have a lot of relatives. This one's not performing right now. We're just starting to get buds. This is a Maximilian sunflower, and it's perennial.
Ooh, fun.
So it comes back year after year. It's deer resistant.
Nice.
And my clump's about 3 years old, and it's quite large and just very satisfying.
That is nice. And then something purple. How is
Yeah.
so nice with all these golds?
I
and
know,
reds.
Centuria or bachelor buttons, also in the Asteraceae family. You can see the ray flowers here, and then the disc flowers in the middle. So it's another one that's just swarmed with bees
Lovely.
when we're in the sun.
And what's this beautiful orangey one?
Echinacea is kind of a classic Asteraceae or sunflower family. There's so many fun colors right now. I believe, let's see, who do we have here? This is Sombrero Sangrita, so it's a newer dwarf variety,
Nice.
so one that doesn't flop quite as much as some of the taller varieties. And the Sombrero series I find are pretty good for our climate and our heavier soils.
Oh, nice.
Rather
That
than,
is good to know.
yeah, the thinner leaf varieties tend to not like our heavy soils as much.
And a classic black-eyed Susan.
You couldn't go wrong. I'm like, who doesn't resemble the daisies the sunflowers as much as the black-eyed Susans? And there's something else, the Asteraceae, a lot of them tend to bloom later in the season.
Okay.
So they're just coming into their prime right now.
Nice.
So yeah, the black-eyed Susans, both the perennial, this is Little Gold Star, and then the Hirtas, or the fuzzy-leafed ones, they're cold hardy to zone 4, but they don't like our heavy soil. So a lot of times they'll rot if you don't have really good drainage. I've gotten lucky in a couple of cases where I had good drainage and I'm like, ooh, surprise, you
Yeah,
came back.
add lots of compost.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Or containers
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Yeah.
And then this one is so pretty with the two-tone.
The Coreopsis are just, this is the new Uptick series. This one's, I think, gold and red ring.
Pretty.
And they've been blooming for a little while. They're some of the earlier daisies to come on, and they just have a very long bloom season, which is really quite nice.
And really a favorite of so many people, zinnias.
The zinnias are in the daisy family
Yeah,
too.
that's
This
interesting.
one's so fluffy and so double.
Look
Like
at
you can
that.
see the little ray flowers in the middle, or the tube flowers in the middle, but most of those petals are all ray flowers.
That is so neat. And
Yeah.
then all of these need sun, like
All of the-
sunflowers.
Yes, a minimum of 6 hours of sun. And a lot of them, if not all of them, are drought tolerant too,
Nice.
which is another good feature of the Asteraceae family.
Laura, you are the botanist of the day. Thank you so much for educating us. It is so interesting. We're all geeks, but I think it's very interesting for all our viewers to know more of the background about the plants in their gardens.
Yeah, definitely. And the more you know, the more interesting it is.
It is, definitely. And gardening is so far-reaching. There's all kinds of families to learn about. So please go to Portland Nursery on Division or here on Stark Street. Talk to the staff here. They're so knowledgeable. Thanks so much, Laura.
Thank you, Judy.
For those of you who forgot to water your hanging baskets or other planters, we have a little summer watering tip for you. Occasionally, if you forget, your pots can get super dried out and that soil tends to shrink and you're left with a little space around the edge side. So when you go to water it, that water just runs off. So what you can do to rehydrate that soil is to take your hanging basket, take a bucket of water that's filled up with there, and just set it inside, and that water will soak up through the soil and help rehydrate that soil like a sponge. And so after a couple hours, you can go back through, make sure the soil is all wet, and then you can kind of just push that soil back around the edge. And then your basket will be rehydrated and be able to soak up water for the next time. Just take it out of the water, hang it up, and that's our tip, is how to summer water your baskets.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
So for the parts of your life that just can't stop, it's essential to keep moving forward safely. And now it's easier than ever to own a brand new Subaru from Capital. Not only can you shop hundreds of Subarus online and get questions answered instantly, but now you can test drive, finance, and even complete your purchase all from the comfort of your home. So keep planning for the future. We'll be here to help make the road ahead just a little bit smoother. Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Look around your home's exterior. Those ugly orange, green, and black algae stains look terrible. Clean them the easy way with 30 Seconds Outdoor Cleaner. It's fast and works on all outdoor surfaces. With 30 seconds, it's clean when you want it clean.
Enjoy a summer of art and color. Visit the Oregon Garden for Art in the Garden now through the end of September. See outstanding and inspired art that represents both traditional and modern styles, carefully placed throughout the garden. See the combination of beautiful plants and great art as you stroll the gardens. Just pick up your map at the Visitors Center on your next visit. For details, go to OregonGarden.org. Art in the Garden is presented by Capital Subaru.
Well, we have met Alfred Dinsdale before in your landscape business, but this isn't a landscape business. Where are we?
This is our blueberry farm in North Plains.
And how big is it?
We've got 75 acres of berries here. It's a 150-acre farm. We started planting about 9 years ago.
Wow, and you've already been harvesting already. Here we are in the middle of, we're in early August, and you're still harvesting.
We started about June 20th this year, and we've pretty much been harvesting every day since. It'll get a little bit more sporadic going forward, but we'll harvest till probably the first week of September before we finish.
Wow, and I am on this huge machine. It's amazing, and you'll be seeing pictures of it. And so run us through the process of the picking.
Well, for the machine picking, generally that's towards the end. So we try to get through first with hand pickers, get off the best fruit that goes to fresh market. The final picks right now we're going through with the machine and cleaning off whatever's left. So this fruit will be going to a processor who will it'll get frozen, it might get dried, it might get canned. They have a whole bunch of different products. But it's a different organization than what does our fresh market fruit.
That is interesting. And so about how many different varieties do you have?
We've got 5 different varieties. Duke is the early variety. We start out, and that's been anywhere from the first part of June to the first part of July, depending on the year. Then we have Rika. Rika is an oddball. It had some years been ahead of us, ahead of Duke, and like this year it's behind Duke. We're still picking Rika, and we're into some of our mid-season varieties. So it's really variable. Legacy is our big mid-season fruit. Legacy is an excellent berry. It's one of the more complex flavored, really good eating berry. A little more complicated to get off the plant. It tends to ripen at various stages, so you have everything from little tiny green fruit to big plump ripe fruit all in the same bush. But
yeah, that's interesting because we can get a lot of these at just a retail nursery. So at home, I can really extend my season that long.
Absolutely, yeah. You can have a whole season, a whole summer season this way. And there are a couple of new varieties out that are double bearing. They bear early and then they bear another crop towards the late part of the season.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
So Alfred, this isn't just a farm. You're really a conservancy of the earth here too.
No, that's right. When we first started this farm, we went to the Soil and Water District and Natural Resource Conservation, and we had them help us develop a whole farm conservation plan. And that plan really includes everything from wildlife habitat, native plantings, streamside buffers, it's ground cover between the blueberry rows, the grass, it's the drip irrigation, it's variable speed pump, it's things like raptor poles to encourage raptors to go after the rodents. So it's a whole plan that kind of integrates all the different aspects of modern agriculture and of sustainability, and trying to incorporate this into the farm right from the start.
And so you have people going through there. There's still some hand-on here, but it's just an amazing process to have this machine in this field. And so can we go somewhere to pick out shrubs? You guys grow them at your landscape nursery?
Yeah, we have a wholesale nursery, and we sell to most of the retailers in the Portland area. I know Al's carries blueberries and several others. So yeah, they're absolutely available.
Well, this is just a grand scale. You can go to a lot of U-Picks and get some blueberries, or why don't you plant them in your backyard? Please go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to Dinsdale Landscape. You can even go out there and get some, or they can even come to your house and design a garden for you. Thank you so much, Alfred. It's been amazing.
Nice talking to you. Yeah.
Well, we're back out here at Swanaya Dahlias. Heather, so not only do you guys do dahlias, you have great dahlia-themed gifts.
We do. We have lots of options. Some are more specialty than others, but a lot of options for different flower or gardening type gifts.
Because you guys are, you're one of the biggest dahlia people around.
We do. Dahlia stuff is hard to locate, though. We've worked really hard. The wine glasses and pint glasses come from an artist out of Eugene, and so they hand etch all of them.
Oh,
so
that's great to have that,
amazing.
That local flair to it.
Yeah, it is kind of fun.
I mean, even the salad.
Yeah, these are from a couple ladies in Washington that do they make the actual spoons out of wood from their farm, and then they do the hand burning. So I think it's really
very cool. And and the gift cards and the coffee mugs and
yeah.
Just all sorts. You walk through the gift shop and there's all sorts of things in there.
We do. We have a lot of gardening items or gardening centered, but then we also carry a lot of non-gardening items. So
right. Just looking at even if you don't want a dahlia theme, but the bird baths and some of the art and the bee houses and things like that are super fun to come out.
Lots of options.
So so you not only can you come out to the farm out here and you can look at the display gardens, you can walk the fields, you can get your cut flowers, but you can also peruse your gift shops on the indoor.
Yeah. So the gift shop stays open year round.
Oh, nice.
But during August and September, just like the fields, it'll be open 6 days a week. So.
Okay, because you guys are going to be closed on Wednesdays now, just to recoup a little bit.
Yes.
And as far as people that are used to coming out for the festival, That's not happening this year, right?
No festival, unfortunately.
Right, but you're still open.
We are still
Right.
open, but we're trying to spread out our visitors so that we can stay open and allow visitors. So
Right.
if you're used to coming only Labor Day weekend or only the festival weekends, come other times to help us spread out the visitors.
Right, and when you're out here, make sure you're wearing your mask.
Yes, indoors we must have masks. We recommend it outside if we're crowded, but it's not required outdoor at this moment. But we'll see what our
Right,
requirements are.
because they're changing
Yeah,
all the
it
time.
could.
So you can go to your website or your Facebook page
Yes.
for all the updated information.
Yeah,
right?
social media is the easiest and quickest way to see the happenings or what's required at
Right,
that time.
what's going on, and you can also go to gardentime.tv and we can click you over to that. But it's great to be out here and to see all these wonderful gifts that you have, and
Thank you.
Enjoy the whole Dahlia experience. out
Yeah,
here.
you can enjoy the afternoon or
Yeah.
the morning.
Great. So thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
Do you have a leaning or broken fence? Fix a broken fence with ease. Made in Oregon, the sturdy fence post bracket can mend your drooping fence. Strong winds, falling debris, dry rot, and wayward drivers can all cause havoc on your once sturdy fence. Our sturdy bracket attaches to your existing fence and is easily installed in 30 minutes. Limit waste, materials, and save money by fixing your existing fence. Purchase online at sturdfence.com or visit participating Par Lumber and Pro Build stores.
A destination farm and garden market featuring the very best each season has to offer. Smith Berry Barn offers seasonal farm fresh fruits and vegetables and specialty herbs and perennials. Visit the historic barn for distinctive gifts, gourmet foods, and homemade milkshakes. Right now we have fresh picked or pick your own berries ready in our fields. Here's what we have to offer this week. Centrally located off of Shoals Ferry Road between Sherwood and Hillsborough, Smith Berry Barn, growing good taste from the ground up.
I'm out here with James, and we're all familiar with the 30 seconds outdoor cleaner. And James, how does this one work?
Well, that's the one that's been around for 40 years in the Pacific Northwest, so hopefully folks are familiar with that one. And that's the spray-on hose-off product, where you can use it on any outdoor surface, your gutters, steps, fences, driveways, patio furniture, you name it, and you basically spray it on, leave it according to the directions, and then rinse it off with a garden hose, and instant results.
And I've been using this on my house for years,
Right.
but you also have some other products though.
Certainly do. We have the outdoor cleaner that gives the instant results versus the 30 seconds spray and walk away, which activates in a different manner. It works over time. So you spray this product onto the surface, and this is designed more for large surface areas like roofs or extensive pathways, where you want to just spray the surface on and let it kill the moss, lichen or algae over time, and brightens up the surface over coming weeks and months, and it retains its cleanliness for some time after that as well.
So it's a little easier because you
it's
just
a lot
throw it on
easier.
and you don't even have to go
Correct.
back and wash it
yes,
off.
Yes, it's
or worry about it
one
for 30
step
seconds
easier than the outdoor cleaner. The difference is that gives the instant gratification versus, you need to be on a surface you're not looking at every day, like your soffits or your gutters or, your patio furniture, where you're going to get a visitor around perhaps.
Right. So it is nice. But then you also have some other products that you use. You have an indoor product.
Correct. This year we released the 30 seconds indoor cleaner, and that's been just absolute perfect timing for us. It was planned, of course, last year already, and we released that, and it's now available at Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse along with the gallon. It's actually a buy one get the indoor cleaner free at the moment. So you can also get it at Park Rose Hardware locally here in Portland, as well as Miller Paints actually.
Oh, which is great.
So it's great for cleaning kitchen and baths. And certainly, algae, mold and mildew and those type of things indoors. And it's a great, terrific product. We're very proud of that one.
Because I know, for myself personally, being home a lot more and in my garden a lot more, it's like I've been noticing a little more around the house, you take a little different look at
Yep.
the gutters and the roofs and the sidewalks and the furniture. So it's, you want those clean because you're
Certainly. I mean, we are
there.
spending more time at home and doing those things, and great, what an opportunity to get those done, that, when this whole pandemic comes to pass, hopefully sooner than later, we can all go elsewhere and not be at home, which I'm sure we'll all be delighted to do. So fun times.
Now, James, when I was walking up, I noticed on the sidewalk some differences between the sidewalk in front of your house and your neighbor's house. There's a product you've been using versus maybe just pressure washing.
Correct, and that's exactly what this will do. It will leave your natural surface looking good and clean the day you put it in, versus pressure washing, which takes off the top layer, the surface basically takes off that cambium layer, makes it rough and more porous, which actually enhances the growth because it regerminates in 3 to 4 weeks again, and you get a higher infestation, versus this, you just spray it on, gets it clean, job's done. So
because noticing that sidewalk after years of pressure washing, it's very pocked. It's,
you will destroy it.
Clean, but it's done some overall damage.
And the same with wood. It will strip and ruin wooden deck if you're not very careful with it. So certainly there are advantages to using the product.
Now, as far as spraying these, do we need to worry about being safe next to our lawns or shrubs?
Certainly a good question there, because the outdoor cleaner perfectly safe around plants and lawns, used per the directions, whereas the spray and walker one is a little stronger and more aggressive, and this requires caution around your plants and lawns. So certainly be careful with direct target spraying when you're using this on your driveways or your roofs.
Which is good to remember why you're doing that.
It certainly is. Yeah, we want to protect those picture frames of ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if people are looking for the product, the best place to find these.
Definitely go online to our website, 30secondscleaners.com. So it's virtually all local retailers will have it here, but certainly if you're looking specific in your area, try 30secondscleaners.com for a dealer near you.
Well, that's great. So get onto their website. You can find a place next to you to go get this, or you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over to their website. So James, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Garden Time today. You can use binoculars to watch the birds and the wildlife, but if you make your garden welcoming, they'll come to you.
And for more information on today's show or any of our other episodes, go to gardentime.tv. Judy and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on Garden Time.
Located in the heart of Willamette Valley's hops, hazelnut, and wine country, Caddy Farms is a beautiful option for your upcoming wedding or event. Enjoy the diverse venue the over 40-acre farm offers, with manicured gardens, a private forest and spacious meadow, chef's kitchen, and covered patios. All just 5 minutes off of I-5 in Aurora, Oregon. Caddy Farms, now booking upcoming events.
Parts of this episode of Garden Time were recorded before COVID-19 and social distancing requirements. The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.